Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to show you the installation of the LED deluxe light kit. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around. I'm going to show you what I've done. I haven't tied anything up with zip ties yet, but I'm going to just show you the rough wiring, and then at that point I'll go ahead and clean it up. Alright, so this is the whole setup for the light kit. It's a LED light kit. It's a deluxe light kit, okay? You got the horn, you got the turn signal. This is the whole brake setup. One of the reasons why I chose this one is because they have other deluxe light kits, okay? They have all the same parts for the most part. The difference is the brake setup. A lot of times, or from what I've seen, you got the ones that have a little pad that mounts to your brake pedal, which I do not like that. I just think it looks tacky, and I just feel like it's not going to last as long. So this one has one where it connects to your actual adjustment rod, or if that's what it's called for the brake. This piece, I believe there's a piece that would slide in there, and I'll show you exactly what it is. So you loosen the nut that you see there, and then you would slip this piece in here. This looks like it's it. I could be wrong. I don't see anything else. This will slip in there, and then you got this hook that will attach to that, okay? To this hole. Now you would mount this bracket here, this bracket to the floorboard or something, you know, somewhere underneath that rod, and then mount it, connect it, and you would just give it just enough tension where it's not pulling this plunger. So in here, it's like a little plunger in here. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. I don't know if I could. You can see a little bit, but basically there's this little plunger, and it would pull this out just enough for it to kick on the brake light. So the reason why I like this is because it's hidden. You don't have this extra little pad that attaches to your brake pedal, and then you're not gonna have this little wire that leads to it. I just think it looks dumb, but obviously, you know, people buy those systems. I'd rather not do it that route. So if you have a 2008.5 or newer Precedent, you're not going to have a bucket harness. This is a bucket harness, okay? So before that time, they did install a bucket harness already, came from the factory, and you were good to go. You could have just hooked up a light kit, plug and play, and you're good to go, from what I understand. After 2008 and newer, they did not provide the bucket harness, therefore you have to buy. So there's two routes you could go. One route, you could buy a deluxe light kit without it and then purchase a bucket harness separately. Or you could buy the whole kit like I got here and decide to just go ahead and install the bucket harness, and then buy the whole kit with the bucket harness. The set I purchased, I did get it on Amazon. I bought it from golfcartstuff.com. It's actually an Amazon package that I purchased, and it came from the store. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't get paid anything to tell you about the different products I'm using. I purchased everything that you see with my own money. The whole underbody, this whole black part, that cost me, it was like $400 and change. I gotta double check. I'll go over the list of everything I purchased. So my new rear seat kit, I purchased like about $330. The front brow, I forgot what that cost. I got to check, but almost everything I got on Amazon. Some things I got them from individual stores that are not on Amazon. I just basically shopped around for the best price. Keep in mind, some places don't give you free shipping if it's under a specific amount of money. Some of them, they might have a low price. For instance, I found that very low price, I think it was on Walmart.com. It was like $200 and change, but then they add $220 for shipping. So you do your calculations, not as inexpensive as it looks. So anyways, so this brand here, I don't even know what this brand is. Maybe that's the brand right there. But this is what I got, and it comes with the harness. So you got the nice LED lights. Also, I did purchase one from another company. I don't know if I should say the name, but I thought it was very cheaply made. This one seems nice. The materials seem good. The back here, I gotta be careful, I don't scratch it up. I don't know, just everything about it seems pretty substantial. I don't know if it looks like aluminum. It just looks like a nice unit. I purchased one from a different company, once again. I really don't want to say who the manufacturer is, but everything, the light kit looked cheap, the fit and finish looked kind of cheap. Even the lights, this has a nice little bezel around it. Even the rear tail lights look much nicer in this. The other one didn't look as good. Packaging was pretty good on this as well. This is everything. This here, I am not sure exactly what this is. I'll figure it out as I go, but I feel a little switch on there. I think there is some wiring in here for a gas golf cart. So it may be one of these things, one of these setups are for a gas golf cart. And then over here actually shows you, this must be the brand right there. So this shows you, okay, voltage reducer sold separately, and they do say it's recommended. The bucket harness, it tells you right here, 2008 and a half or newer. And then this is for gas harness, which I don't see that here. Maybe it's in here somewhere. You got your street legal turn signal kit and all that. And you got your horn. Then we got some little screws here. I got some zip ties, and then this covers up all the wires that go down the steering wheel shaft. I'm gonna work with this. I'm gonna start kind of messing with some wiring on the golf cart itself, kind of try to clean up some stuff that looks like it's not necessary to be there. And I'm gonna probably start running it. Once again, I don't have a stand. I had a little tripod thing, but the part that actually holds the phone, I'm using my phone on this, detached from the actual mount, so I don't trust it holding my phone. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna just show you what I've done so far. All right, so this is it, guys. The light kit is gonna be installed. All right, guys, so I just took a bunch of wires that were in here for the previous light. Basically, there was one connected to this positive, there's another one connected here, and another one was connected to the negative. I went ahead and removed all the wires, and now I'm over here getting ready to get everything connected. Obviously I disconnected these. All right, so I'm gonna keep it moving. All right, so this is the LED light kit. So it gets mounted. There's these brackets back here, there and there. So you just use your existing bolts for that. And then it's wired. You got the horn up here. And then the way it's wired, basically you run it through this hole in the dash, and then it plugs in there, and then the horn gets plugged in with these, it's hard to see, but this two wires, spade connectors that would plug into the horn. The LED tail lights are just connected like so, and it specifies what side this goes on. So this is driver's side, so you can't mess that one up. And you'll see the colors and the wires are different on the other side. All right, and these are ran into the battery box through this hole, and it's the same thing on both sides. So what I did here is I connected it to a fuse box. So the wires, like I said, there's a mess here. I'm gonna clean it up. The wires that for the lights is this blue one, this positive, and then you got this black one, which when they come in, the positive that's connected to that black is going to be attached to this with a spade connector. It's going to have 15 amp fuse, and then this bullet connector is for the negative. This spade connector would connect to the existing wiring on the battery, which the club car should come with. So normally that would connect to this here. Okay, so I didn't do that. I decided just to put a fuse box, and I have that connected like so. This back end is going to be positive, so you get the positive. You're going to go from the battery to the converter, and then from the converter you're going to go into the fuse box. Okay, there's only 4 wires. I think I'm going to be mounting it here. Hopefully it works. You got inputs and outputs. So I put an I on there for in, O for out. So these are in. And I did that just because obviously when it's mounted you can't see the bottom. But on the bottom side it tells you what it is. So you got positive and negative, and then you got positive, or positive is yellow, negative. So I indicated that with the red and black wire on this side. So once again, it goes from the battery, the positive and the negative. Into the converter, or reducer, you want to, and then whatever you guys want to call it. And then from the reducer, you got these going into the fuse box connected to the main terminals. You got here your other stuff, you know, as you go. So I got 15 amp fuse for the light kit so far. The main wiring is coming through, you know, through the center here, and it comes out here, and this is it right here. Okay, you just follow it around. I got some zip ties on there. It goes up and it leads here. This is a bucket harness. You got to buy this extra unless you have an 08.5 and newer. The only thing that plugs into your old wiring, you leave these connected, is just this one wire right here. Okay, it's a gray wire. You get the bucket harness, and then the 12-pin connector connects to the other harness that comes with the kit, and then part of this would go through the hole, and that would lead to the LED light bar. And then from here you just follow it over, and then it's just plug and play with the turn signal and all that stuff. This here, you know, it was hanging off. It has some adhesive, and you just adhere it there. Cut in a hole here for a light. I was gonna use an original hole with the original switch that I had, or it wasn't original, it was a switch that was added, but unfortunately this didn't reach here, and I didn't want to have to just undo all the wires for it to reach, so I just put in a new hole. So for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory as far as you following directions, but when you get them ran, it looks more overwhelming than what it really is. Once you actually start running things, you can see it. So from this kit, it branches off, and this is what goes into your brake compartment here under this panel. Okay, and you have this black box that comes with it. You have 3 wires in this pigtail. So this connector, we connected this by loosening this nut, adding this bracket, and this is a plunger, so when you push the brake, it pulls that plunger out. So one part of the black wire on the pigtail connects to the box, and in the diagram it's going to show you, I just plugged it in the way the diagram showed me. This other black wire is going to connect, it's part of this whole, this run of wires, there's 3 of them in here, that connects directly into the box. Then you got this orange wire that connects to this black wire that goes into this black box. And then this part of the pigtail, this other black wire, connects to this, like you see here. And then the red and red connect that lead back into this harness. So hopefully that's not too confusing. But if you follow the directions, they're pretty decent. The only thing that might throw you off is it talks about a reducer harness or whatever it is. It's some type of reducer. And I'll show you in the instructions. That's the only thing that threw me off a little bit. But I just kind of skipped that, and I just kept moving because I know I had a voltage reducer. So after everything was connected, it works. It's kind of like a diagram, all the different connections. And this, like, if you have the 8-volt battery configuration, this is basically what it tells you to do. So as you can see, there's a connection for a 12-volt battery configuration. It tells you to connect to your bucket harness. The only thing is, this talks about a GVR harness. It says it's sold separately. Apparently you don't need it if you have a converter. That was the only thing that kind of threw me off, but I just kept it moving. I skipped that part and just went through with the whole thing. But don't confuse it. If you have a 8-volt battery configuration, don't confuse it with the gas cart configuration, or don't confuse it with the 12-volt configuration. For the most part, the instructions are pretty decent. I spoke to the supplier, and they said they're actually tweaking the instruction a little bit to make it a little more easier to follow. So once again, what I did was I connected my positive and my negative to my voltage reducer. From the voltage reducer, I went to a fuse box, and then in the fuse box I just did 15 amp fuse. The reason why I chose that is because I think that's the way to go, but I just confirmed it with what was already existing on that came in. It was a 15 amp fuse. Now they do sell voltage reducers that are plug and play. I just bought that specific one. Everything else was pretty easy. You just run it the way you need to run it. You mount your horn, so everything's connected. This tells you how to connect your brake light setup. So the only issue I did run into is my brake lights weren't working. Everything else was working on this thing, but the brake lights weren't working. So I called the company. They actually have their phone number on this manual, and they went ahead and took care of it. Basically all it was I needed to turn the switch on. So I did have everything in the run mode, but apparently the brake light switch worked when the cart is switched to on. So if you turn it on, it's in run, the brake lights work. So that's it. Hopefully this is not too confusing. You get the idea of how everything's ran. I'm gonna go ahead and tie the wires up and just keep it moving. My next thing is I'm gonna install the meter for the battery indicator. I'm just gonna show you exactly what's going on. I already see how this thing's gonna look. I'm hoping to get my body back maybe by next week. If not, there's gonna be a little problem. You understand? But no, I'm gonna show you what the deal is with that. I should be getting my roof by Friday. Let's see. I'm gonna show you what's up. All right. Just to reiterate, we got the underbody for the rear. Looks nice and fresh and new. I got the little door that goes there. It's in pretty good shape. I'm gonna clean it up. I got the lights on. I put the rocker panel on, as you can see, nice fresh rocker panel. I just got to drill the little holes to put these connectors in there. I got my dash kit. This is a lower cost option, and basically it's really simple. It just sits in there. I don't want to pull it out, but all you do, you're slipping this in from the back. You're gonna go behind this little golf ball holder thing, and then you're gonna push it back, and it's gonna go into place. Hopefully, I don't like the way this moves, but then again, there is gonna be the brow that's gonna hold it, lock it in place. So I'm hoping it's not gonna have that much movement once it's all said and done. Otherwise, I gotta figure something out with that. So this is it. I got the turn signal. I think I showed that in the previous video. If I didn't, this is what we're looking at. Everything works. You can see it in the front here. See, you can see the back one flashing. Obviously, the backlight's not totally installed. This is full LED too. Hazards work the same way. The lights, nice LED lights. You can see it has that bluish tint to it. The horn works. Once again, here's a hazard. You just pull this. You got the hazards. And once again, if you guys been watching the videos, you know I'm limited on space in here. I gotta get things put back together. But you see those backlights are flashing. Backlight is flashing. I'll just reiterate so you guys know. All right. So basically, you get the light kit. There's something called a bucket harness, and if you follow the instructions that they provide, they're pretty good instructions. Some areas I did get a little confused with, just because it was calling for some other type of harness. So, but other than that, if you don't have that and you just buy yourself a relay like this, or a voltage reducer, whatever you want to call it, this is 48 volt cart, so you do 48 to 12 volt. Some companies sell a voltage reducer where it would be 36 volt or 48, and it reduces it down to 12 volts. So far it's working pretty good. Also, it's a 20 or 30 amp voltage reducer, so make sure you pay attention to the amperage. I decided to mount it here. Just I think it's best there. It's out of the way. I don't think the cart's gonna get too hot, so it's gonna have all this airspace in here. So I don't think it's gonna heat up too much. I ran all my wires. I tried to tape them best I could. Try to keep them somewhat neat. And just so you know, they run under this mat too. So I put the mat back in, but there's a channel where you would connect your bucket harness. You would run your bucket harness through your channel. You could kind of see it a little bit in there, and then you would just run it and just follow the instructions. Like I said, pretty simple. There's some areas I kind of got stuck on, but then I skipped that section and just kept going, and then I was able to put two and two together basically. So the way it works is you got the positive, and then you got the negative here, and the way that works is the positive and negative from this voltage reducer attaches to the battery. Obviously it's only going to be so long. These are kind of short, so I did buy some extra wire, and then I also bought the connectors with the heat shrink. So they actually pretty nice connectors. So I went ahead and connected the wires, and I got the connections for the terminals right there. Now you notice that there's multiple on this positive wire. So there's this red wire. I really don't know where it goes to, but since it was there originally, this one right here. I don't know where it goes to, but I'm assuming it's part of the main harness. So I put that back in there. Then you got obviously the main battery cable. On a regular harness, you would have been able to plug right into this. Okay. I didn't do that, and normally it does come with a fuse. I didn't do that. I cut the fuse off, and I went ahead and actually connected my harness, which is this blue plug, directly to my fuse box. And then the fuse box has a 15 amp fuse in there. You got the negative connected there as well. So everything's ran in a way where it's going to go from the two batteries. From the two opposite batteries from the main connection. It's going to go from that to the voltage reducer, from the reducer to the fuse box. Aiden, don't touch that. Who's that? We're doing video. Say hi. Hi. Did you help Daddy? What? Did you help Daddy? Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing a good job. No, don't take that off. We'll take it off when we put the new body, okay? You can help me with that when we're ready. And then anything that I want to plug in goes to a fuse box. So a light kit goes to the fuse box. If I decide I want to add a radio, it's going to go to this fuse box. I know it's overkill, all these extra connections, but I probably want to add too much more stuff anyways. But if I decide to, I have it going there. So that's that with the wiring. And then I went ahead and replaced my key switch. I replaced that with a key that's different. It's not a standard club car key switch. I did kind of mess it up a little bit, just because the other one was stuck. I could not remove it if my life depended on it. So I went ahead and cut it off. So I did mess this up. I'm gonna try to fill it, maybe touch it up with some paint or something. I also went ahead and installed this 48 volt battery capacity monitor. So this is a 48 volt golf cart. For some reason I'm showing 50.6 volts. I don't know if that's normal, and I'm at 80% capacity. Hopefully it's pretty accurate. And then if I hit this, it gives me the temperature and all that stuff, I guess, of the batteries. And that's it. This installation is pretty easy. All it is a little pigtail, plugs in some thin red and black wires, and you would connect it to your positive and negative on your golf cart, which one of these wires, which should be this one right here, is the actual wire that I connected to that unit on each side. Originally I did plug it into this, and then I said, why am I getting 12 volts? Obviously my brain registered that I'm getting 12 volts from that because I got the voltage reducer bringing it down to 12 volts according to what I understand. So this is the brand here, and it just kind of tells you it's really simple, straightforward connection, nothing crazy. So it's pretty simple. I just had to cut the hole out. What I did, basically I used the original hole that was there, which was quite a bit smaller, probably basically took up the corner of this piece. I just used that corner and just worked my way around, so I didn't have to make extra holes. So I do have an extra hole here, connect this here because it wasn't long enough, and for it to reach I probably would have to disconnect the wires or untie the wires for me to stretch it. So I said, let me not do that. So I made a new hole here for this light switch, and I'll figure something out on this one. This light kit is really nice light kit. I'm very happy with the quality of it. And then I also installed this dash kit that you see. You saw that earlier. So the dash kit is installed. And this is a Mad Jack's dash kit. Price wasn't bad, and I'm gonna go over pricing once I'm done with everything. So this dash kit came from Amazon. I ordered it from there, but it's Mad Jack's, and they're pretty well known. They do a lot of nice things. They have like even bodies they could order. There's one called an Alpha body, which is pretty nice looking body. So the Mad Jack's dash kit, pretty simple. All you do is install it behind the that golf ball holder. You push it back, and then you put the brow back on. Just so you know, the connectors I used. I ordered this off of Amazon. I could try to put maybe some type of link or a description of it so you guys can find it. But this is nice. It comes with 250 pieces, and there's different sizes, and it worked out really nice. The heat shrink seems pretty good quality, so I'm not complaining. You got a bag of fuses that came with that fuse box that I ordered. Is this right here. This was off of Amazon. It seems pretty good. They got the LED indicator. It tells you if something's blown or whatever, or not connected. So that's that. And then this is what I use for the converter. That was from Amazon. So the next few things I need to install. Oh yeah, this is my wire. I got this from Amazon. Okay, it came in 2 little rolls, or I think they were 25 foot each. This is 14 gauge wire. And this is a part that was attached to the light kit that would have plugged into that piece that was sticking out on the battery, on the original club car battery connection. Which, if I use this, it has a 15 amp fuse, it would have plugged into this right here, into here. But since I didn't use it, and this was attached to this blue wire right here, since I didn't use it, I just cut it off. I'm gonna save it just in case I need it in the future for something. Another thing I did purchase a while ago, or a few weeks back, I bought this kit that has all the different rivets, or whatever you want to call them. So, because I got to drill some holes to install those rockers. Alright, so that concludes the light kit installation for the club car. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully I gave you enough information for you guys to achieve and accomplish installing the light kit. I know I didn't really show you too much regarding running the wires or anything like that, or how to route them, but I hope whatever I showed you was sufficient enough for you guys to get the idea on how to do it. A little difficult to run the wire and video at the same time. I felt like if I set the tripod up while I was running the wires, I would probably get in the way of the camera and it'd be useless anyways. So hopefully the way I showed you is sufficient enough. With time, I'm going to get better with these videos. Stay tuned, and little by little I'll get better. I'm going to finish up the golf cart, and then once I'm done with the club car or the golf cart, then at that point I'm going to start posting videos of some home repairs that I do. So for those of you who are interested in the golf cart, you won't see too many golf cart videos. If anything else comes up with the golf cart, hopefully you guys subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can get notified when videos come out. It might be a little bit of time without showing those videos because I'm going to get back to doing home improvement videos. My first one was a range hood installation. So the next few are going to be a backsplash, entertainment system, and some other random stuff for home improvement. Hit that like button, but very important for me is for you guys to subscribe. And if you want to leave any comments, that'd be great too. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.